and we'll start, and then I'll switch that to highlight a speaker version, but let's start now. Om Sadashiv Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kansa Chanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. So this time is the first time, so I'm saying it. Next time when we do, you will repeat. So it's good when we repeat these things. Some of you already know, but some can, if not, you'll know. That's one of the goal of this whole class is, right? So what I'll do for today, first day, we'll go over some of the instructions, and then how the whole 12 weeks will go. I'll go over then, and then hopefully today we'll touch first chapter. But before that, all the introduction of Bhagavad Gita and what is. So that's and it's a joy to be with each other. So I won't say that. I'm sure the joy is from the both sides, right? मेरा तो बहुत मजा आता है मुझे तो. So I just love it. And Bhagavad Gita पे I get any time, even 3 minutes, I love it, right? So for me it's a joy. I'm sure it will both way, because this is coming from somewhere else. Is beyond our control. So let's enjoy together, right? So let me share my screen. Couple of things at the beginning. Okay, let me know one of you that you can see my screen. Mitab ji,
Okay.
good.
अभी आया नहीं है, लेकिन yeah, now we can see.
Okay. So this was the first email I sent to everyone, the welcome thing. So it's with a great joy, admiration that we welcome you to Bhagavad Gita class, and this is offered by Home Hindu Center and VHP Shindu Parijat of America. Whatever we are raising here, we'll give it to Home Hindu Center. This is one of our project, VHPA, but it is a Sanskar Kendra, Shiksha Kendra, learning center. So it's good that we are part of it by many ways, but this is one of the ways. And second thing, what is happening here is we are collectively committing to the seva of Sanatana Dharma. Bhagavad Gita study and Bhagavad Gita imbibing in life and Bhagavad Gita promotion, share with others. That's the seva of Sanatana Dharma. So we are doing that. And then it is a swadhyay. So it's a spiritual journey, but guided by the best teachings. I mean, for me, it is the best teaching on this earth. And that we are so lucky to have that available to us. So it's a swadhyay. That's why we are here. And it's a 12 weeks we'll enjoy. One just request, if you can keep your video on, it's as far as possible, it's good, because I can see, and then you can see me too, right? Both ways. So that's why. But if it is some emergency, that's fine. But just hopefully 70-80% people can keep the video on, and it keeps me also see the reaction or being engaged. As the Bhagavad Gita is not a linear teaching, in the beginning I tell you, there are chapters in the Bhagavad Gita, but these chapters are not told by Bhagwan Krishna. They were just discussing for 1.5 hours, what time around that. Later on, our acharyas named them and titled them. So it was not titled by Bhagwan ki Arjuna now is a karma yoga, but it's good. So it's not a linear teaching. Arjuna is asking, Bhagwan is responding. And actually you will realize as we go into Bhagavad Gita, it is Arjuna's questions are evolving actually and maturing also. So that's the good part. Every time you read Bhagavad Gita, you feel like, oh, something new is my own understanding. Arjuna, same thing happened to Arjuna. So we also should evolve with these questions. But every session is interconnected or valuable some or other way. And this one we have condensed to 12 weeks only. One another session which I have on Thursday, which is going on for 3.5 years. And we are still on 13th chapter. 3.5 years, every week we meet, and it's still on 13th chapter, which is fine. That's a different forum. But here the purpose was this: many people requested, can we at least finish one time, and then you can follow. So that's the purpose of this condensation of in 12 weeks. We'll enjoy that, I'm sure, writing. And if you have questions, you can post in the chat, or you can message me separately. Because if sometimes the questions are there, you can just say in many sessions, these questions will be answered some or other way. But just if you have a question, please do that, right? So that's the first part. And now the second part is, let me share the calendar with all. This is the whole calendar, and I'll share this calendar later on with you. So today is the first week. We'll cover the Mahat means glory, and the Vishad or Moh. Here the English translation is there. We'll talk about what the fundamental problem has that. Most probably we'll touch first chapter and some introduction Mahatma today. And then when next time we'll meet, we'll do the second chapter, because second chapter is the foundation of all the teachings. All the teaching, not only Bhagavad Gita. So we'll spend full 1 hour on second chapter. Then on 18th we'll meet, we'll go over 14th chapter. You will be sometimes surprised why 14th. So this is my way of reading Bhagavad Gita. It's very important chapter, so we'll do 14th before we go to 3rd. Then on 9th we'll do Karma Yoga, 3rd chapter. Then 15th we'll do Karma Sannyas, which is 4 and 5th together. Then 6th is another important chapter. It's a milestone chapter. It is exactly Dhyan Yoga or Atma Sanyam Yoga. And we actually at the end of session, we do little bit of, we get into meditation, we don't do, which is taught by Bhagwan to Arjuna. It is from Bhagavad Gita. I do that. A lot of people who are close to me, they do that. We'll do that too. The 6th chapter is all about that. Then 7th, 8th, 9th is all about Bhagwan's Sarup, Bhagwan's nature. And then 8th chapter, 10th, 11th, Vishwarup, we have seen Bhagwan's form. So that will be Bhakti, okay, accept. And then we'll see Diwali calendar, we can move one Sunday here and there. But so here, like next week, Monday will be Labor Day, so we'll keep it off. But you see the 3 weeks we are meeting. That's what first 3 weeks of. Then 10th, we'll do the 12th chapter, which is Bhakti Yoga. Then 13th and 15th are about Sharir and Purushottam, the famous Purushottam Yoga chapter, and Kshetra. Then 16, 17, all about the divine wealth. Look at these topics. I mean, what a teaching. I mean, I just revel them, right? And the last is Moksha Sannyas, Moksha Yoga, freedom from delusion and doubt. So this is a journey. It starts from grief and conflict and confusion, and it ends in freedom from delusion and no doubt, doubtless. That is the journey of Bhagavad Gita. And in the middle, all this teaching is there. So this is the calendar we'll follow. But that's why I said that if you miss one, you're missing. It's like that. Because they are not linear, they are random, but they're all interconnected some or other way. And it is like, we are so lucky to have this. I all feel. So this is our calendar. I'll share that, but just for brief, right? So next we'll move to yeah, okay. So now I'll stop sharing and then we'll go back to sharing again. Okay, so now the relevance of Bhagavad, why we are doing it. Bhagavad Gita, this time, 5,000 years ago it was said, now we are doing Bhagavad Gita, even now it is applicable. So let's see a little bit of relevance. I have hundreds of examples, but I'll share a few of them. Almost 20 years ago, I go to downtown Pittsburgh by bus, same bus. So in the bus, I read Gita in the morning, my routine. So 20 years ago, I'm telling you, like it's. So I was reading, and then typically bus, standard people are there. So next to my seat, there was always a white young boy. He used to go to downtown. He must be watching me for a few days. The one day he asked, "Can I ask you a question?" I said, "Yes." "Is this Bhagavad Gita?" That was the pronoun. I said, "Yes." So I said, "How do you know this?" He said, "When I was in undergrad, or he was doing PhD at CMU. So he said, when I was doing undergrad, I took Bhagavad Gita as in the philosophy course. And this is such a wonderful book. And then we became friends. So every day we do something or other talk. And look at randomly, some young man from Pittsburgh has nothing at reading Bhagavad Gita, and he's enjoying. And that gave me wow. That's the relevance. Look at that. Randomly, he is nothing to do with some Hindu teaching, but he says, this connects with me. That's the relevance. Kab Bhagwan 5,000 years ago, he said, people think it's an old thing. No, it is never old. It's another example which many of you know, Mr. Stephen Knapp. We call him Nandanand Das. I think many of you know him. If not, you can Google Stephen Knapp. He was one of those initial person who were initiated by Prabhupada himself in America when they had a mandir in Detroit. Before West Virginia Mandir, Prabhupada was donated, Ford's son donated Ford's mansion to Prabhupada, it's still there. Detroit Mandir is the Ford mansion donated to Prabhupada. And Stephen Knapp is from Detroit. He was a young boy, 16, 17-year-old that time. He's a good friend of mine even now. Some of you know him. And I meet him. Now he's sick. He's almost 85. So we used to meet all the time. He's a ISKCON devotee, Pakka Vaishnava. He has written a lot of good book on Hindu and this time Government of India gave him Padma Shri also because of his contribution to Vedic. Look at that, Stephen Knapp. And I many times in the public forum, I ask this question in front of the Hindu crowd whenever we are sharing the dayas. And I ask him that why you are following Hindu tradition, why you become Hindu. And he says a couple of things. He said, one, when I was 16, 17-year-old, there was a hippie kind of movement. America has some issues, and that time Prabhupada came. It's a divine reason he came that time. And Stephen, a lot of young people got connected to him. And he said, I connected to Prabhupada and I got Diksha from him. And he said that the two things, bhajan and Bhagavad Gita. These, for two reasons, I became Hindu, and I'm a staunch Hindu. He's such a staunch Hindu. Some of you know him. He says bhajan and Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita gives all the answers, and bhajan just melts you. That ahankar, the ego, just melts. This is a treasure of our rishis. That's Bhagavad Gita. Right? And there's one more example, and then move forward. There is a professor at Penn State University, Jeremy Engels. He has written a book during COVID time. It is available on Amazon. The Ethics of Oneness. And say Whitman, Emerson, those are the American sages, and the Bhagavad Gita. That's the title of the book. It's available on, you can say. And Jeremy Engel, Ethics of Oneness. And he's saying Emerson and Whitman were promoter of oneness. The Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, what we say. And he says Bhagavad Gita talks the same. So he wrote a book during COVID time, how we become one. That is the relevance of Bhagavad Gita. It is not just for Hindus, we take it for granted, it's fine. But look at that, how these people. So I brought those people from outside, and I know all of them. So that's what I said. Now we'll move next, because we have to move a little faster because of the 12 weeks. I have that agenda in front of me. And this is part of Mahabharata. We all know that, right? And another thing, like any presentations, I have seen many presentations in many conferences, Hindu conferences, Mandir. Some or other way Bhagavad Gita comes into that. Some young person is presenting and say, oh, Bhagavad Gita said this. And many people just take the quote and say, but still people refer to Bhagavad Gita. And it's part of Mahabharata. So Mahabharata, whenever this comes to our mind, Mahabharata is a war. Everybody thinks it's a war. It's a war. But there is a difference between a war and Dharma Yuddha. It's not just a Yuddha, it is a Dharma Yuddha. So some people, even you can read them, some scholars say, oh, Krishna could have stopped the war. He was himself, so many people, you have to read Mahabharata in detail. He was the last one to go for it. In fact, when he was just before the war, everybody was ready, and all the Pandavas making last strategy they're making, how to go about this. He said, I want to meet one time Duryodhana and Dhritarashtra. And they said, what? I mean, now we know that he is not, no, I want to meet one more time. And Draupadi asked him, what about me, Krishna? You saved me when I was like molested by Duryodhana and Dushasana, and I had taken that pranki, that blood of Dushasana, do my hair and all those things. Bhishma says, I had taken, I'll, I'll kill Duryodhana, and you are going for a peace again? You want to? He said, no, I had to do. And in spite of all that Pandavas, he went there and said that last chance, if you give them 5 villages, we'll avoid the war. And we all know the story. Duryodhana avoided, and Duryodhana wanted to arrest him. So Bhagwan Krishna was the one who never wanted the war. But he proved that Shanti and peace, like the Shanti and peace and Yuddha or war, can coexist if the goal is Shanti. But whatever happened, this world is Shanti is nowhere in the goal. Like they are all war. But so Mahabharat war was done for peace, Shanti. The Yuddha was not the goal. The goal was Shanti. And that is because of Krishna, Bhagwan Krishna. So that's Mahabharat. So we'll move forward. Now we'll talk few minutes about Sri Krishna himself. But that's what, because of that Bhagwan, we are reading Bhagavad Gita, and what a great character. One of the best characters in the Itihas of Hindus, or I'll say Itihas of world. One of the best characters. So now look at that. Many other characters are there, like some are known for just their sannyas, some are known for just their sadhu, or whatever role they have played. Look at what from the childhood. He is grazing the cows, the cow herd, which is a Gopal right now. Then he is doing Makhan Chori, or the mischiefs, so Makhan Chor. Then he goes, and when he become young, Ras, Garba Ras, what Ras we do is coming from Krishna himself, right? Vrindavan Ras. Then he did diplomacy. He did advocacy. He used to travel around the world. He shifted his kingdom from Mathura to Dwarka. All this diplomacy, advocacy, that is Krishna. And then the great warrior. He fought some wars. He helped other. And the last thing is he's Jagat Guru. He's the best teacher. That's why we say Krishna Mande Jagat Guru. What a character, right? Right from a childhood who is a cowherd boy to a Jagat Guru. This Bhagavad Gita teaching coming from him. That's what we are enjoying. It is not just we reading a book. We are reading prasad from Sri Krishna himself. What a great character. So there was a artist who used to draw beautiful pictures, and he was given a lot of award. So one day he was sitting for a few days in the room, and he came up with one of the best pictures he could produce, right? A beautiful something like that, like face. And everybody says, wow, what are this beautiful face? Okay, but everybody liked that. But everybody said, we want to see this person who's such a beautiful, everything is so good. Where is this person is? And we want to see that. And some people who are like little powerful, they say, you have to tell us where this person is. We want to see this person in person. The picture is so good. And he said, you can't see this person. I said, why? Well, this person doesn't exist. And he said, then how did you draw? He said, I collected all the beauties in my mind, all my life's experience, and put all this beauty together, and I created this picture. So this is not a one person. This is the beauty of combination of all this, and that is Krishna. So if you put all the attributes and qualities of everyone and create an image in our mind, that is Sri Krishna. So we are so lucky to read his own teachings. So we have to keep in mind whenever reading Bhagavad Gita, this is coming from Krishna, and constantly we have to keep Bhagwan Krishna in mind. Then there is a better joy. वैसा कहते हैं ना, जब when we eat, we should have, if we are eating good things, that we enjoy the digestion also. That's why when we eat junk food, and your system doesn't enjoy. You don't enjoy the acidity, and all kind of problems happen. But when there's healthy food, you enjoy, even you can sleep with joy. So when we do this study, we have to keep Bhagwan Krishna in mind. Then there'll be a joy from within in Bhagavad Gita. Whatever, it could be serotonin, it could be dopamine, it could be all those happy chemicals will be released in the body. It happens. It's not just statement. That's what our For thousands of years, our rishis, our gurus, they have studied Bhagavad Gita and they enjoyed and they propagate it. So that's Bhagavan Krishna. And then we'll talk about what is Bhagavad Gita. Let me share my screen again. I know some of you have gone through Bhagavad Gita many times, or some of you are doing it for the first time. So, but anyway, you will enjoy that. And when I asked, some of you have sent the reasons for you are in this course or why you want to do that. And some of, like, you commented that I want to have a better life, or somebody says when I read Bhagavad Gita again, I enjoy it more and more. It is like that. There is a saying, when a person meets his or her beloved, this says that I'm meeting you again for the first time. Every meeting is a fresh meeting. I'm meeting you again for the first time. If same way, if we go to Mandir, I personally, when I go to Mandir, I'm seeing Bhagwan again for the first time. It's all fresh. So Bhagavad Gita is like that. More you read, every time you open, you say, I'm reading this again for the first time. So that is the power of Bhagavad Gita, right? So even if you have read it previously, you will enjoy that. So let's very briefly go what is Bhagavad Gita. Okay, here you go. Yeah, so this is I'll share all these presentations later on with you, so you can refer, but let's finish the course and then you can. Yeah, so this is Bhagavad Gita. You see my screen, right? Okay. So it is in very simple terms, from conflict and grief, which Arjuna had, and we all get. That's the reason Bhagavad Gita is relevant, because we all have every day, sometime every hour, there is a conflict or grief or something. The goal is to go to self-awareness and joy. The conflict and grief is all related to body mind. And we'll see when we finish Bhagavad Gita, we'll exactly know the difference between the body mind and not what is not body mind, which is Atma or self. So it takes took Arjun, and that's why it will take us also. From conflict, grief to self-awareness and joy. Pura, full Anand. I'll not read this, but this is a very powerful statement given by Vinod Bhaveji. He was one person I personally followed, and still he is my guru in absence. He said everything stated in Bhagavad Gita is meant to be tested in the life of every devotee. It is intended to be verified in practice. Anything, and he's very right. Anything is said in Bhagavad Gita we can see in our life. Oh, it applies in my life. So that is essence Bhagavad Gita. And this is one Gita Dhyanam. You all know that. I mean, a lot of people have memorized, but many times people chant this in the mandir, and it is composed by Madhusudan Saraswati. There was a rishi. So there are 8, but I have taken one. So it says Advait Amrit Varshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashaya Dhyayinim Amba Tvam Anusandadami Bhagavad Gita Bhavadveshinim. And it says Mother Bhagavad Gita. It says Amba means mother. Just like the Amma Shabd has come from that, Sanskrit mother. And they are saying, Mother, I come to you for an inquiry. Look at that. He said, and even Gandhiji used to say that Bhagavad Gita is my mother. When I am in despair or despondency, I go back to my mother's lap and I get the answer. So same thing Rishi is saying here, that I come to you, Mother Bhagavad Gita. And it is the same example. When I have children classes also, when I explain, they get it, because I tell them that whenever you are in need, the best answer you can get from your mother means parents. It's not just mother. You can go to father. They are the people, even at this age, we are all, if we have parents alive, we know they are always going to give the best possible for us. So I am making an inquiry. Anusandhan means making an inquiry. So we are here to make an inquiry. And what this answer for what? Misapprehension of sansar. We have taken this material world in the wrong way. We assume that this is all permanent. This is a delusion. That's the whole conflict. Bhagavad Gita explains us that. So that is Gita Dhyanam. Now, this is a logo created by me and Bhakti, my daughter. This is, you won't find anywhere. I created this logo because I realized all these years there's no logo for Bhagavad Gita. All the time this picture is there. So this is all I created with Bhakti's help. What is Bhagavad Gita? It is Brahma Vidya. You are complete. Brahma means not just Bhagwan. Brahma means the completeness is Brahma. We can call them Brahma or Krishna or Durga, whatever name. That is Hindu democratic style of bhakti, which is wonderful. But Brahma means complete. You're adequate. You're not missing anything. इसलिए हम लोग पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं जब बोलते हैं, that's the purpose. You're पूर्ण. That is Brahma Vidya. So Bhagavad Gita tells that you are पूर्ण, but it tells the way also to get to the completeness, and that is Yoga Shastra. So after every chapter there is a shlok which says Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvade Bhakti Yoga Namo Dwadasho Adhyaya, every chapter. So that says ki it is Brahma Vidya and Yoga Shastra. Yoga means a way, a technique to completeness, and you are complete. That is a promise, and that's what Bhagavan did with Arjuna. Very quickly, what is the teaching? There are a lot of things we'll go across, but I'm just being, one is that very prominent teaching that there is a difference between Atma, which is Dehi, and body. Bhagavad Gita, if you have gone through, if we don't understand that, then we have not understood Bhagavad Gita. This is the first teaching. And there is a shlok, we'll go over that when we go to second chapter. And it is, the example is very simple. This is I made for children, so it works for everyone. Electricity is one, but its manifestations are many. Every home, some home is refrigerator, computer, or power plant. One electricity, but it is manifested in many forms. Exactly the same. One Paramatma, which is manifested as plants, animals, human being, just one Paramatma, one Atma. That's why we are all same. That's the reason when we say Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, this is the reason we say Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Entire Vasudha is one. Everyone is one. And this is the principle. Paramatma to Atma, Jivatma we call it, or Atma. And this is all same in all of us. That's the reason we have worship plants. That's the reason we worship animals. And because they are like us. So this is one. Second is very important, for which I personally take, is what it teaches. It teaches social responsibility. It is not just reading and enjoying Bhagavad Gita. It tells me, and that was Bhagavan told Arjuna, you cannot run away. It is your social responsibility, Arjuna. You have to finish this. It is not a war, it is a responsibility. So there is a shlok, we'll go over that when we reach to third chapter. It is one of my favorite shloks. It says that the educated people, whatever they do, others follow. So educated people, educated means not only, I'm not academic education, Anubhav Jeevan mein, elderly people at home, society. You set the standards, people pursue it. That is Bhagavad Gita. That's Bhagavan insisted on Arjuna. You are responsible. And that is called karma. The whole chapter, third chapter, we'll go with. So this is in essence. Okay. So that we are done with that. So that's what Bhagavad Gita is. So we'll go into detail later on, but just, so now what we'll do, 9:30. Yeah, we still have a few minutes, right? So this is what I had done, is like, this is my own study, and everybody can do that. There is no, I have created Saptashloki Bhagavad Gita, right? And I think some of you have written in your like the question or comment, whatever I asked for, that I need some shlok which I can memorize and keep with me. In fact, with children, I do the same shlok. My goal with children, to, if they memorize and understand this will stay for entire life. Like, for example, these shlok are my everyday prayer. I just close my eyes and I chant and I just play the meaning. It's as if Bhagavan Krishna is telling me. It's like that. Wonderful. So I had done this. I'll share with all of you. You can read it, but we'll go over this shloka. That's one of the goal of this course. I mean, this is my own, but it is not it is coming from Bhagavad Gita, but and we are in a random order. It's not that. That's why I said Bhagavad Gita is not linear. It is random. Like Arjuna is asking, Bhagavan is answering, that way. So there is a 7th shloka of 2nd chapter, which is Arjun's prarthana. And the entire Bhagavad Gita is answer to this one prarthana. So far, Bhagavan has not spoken. So up to 2nd chapter, 7th shloka, Bhagavan is just listening to Arjun. He is giving all kind of logic, just listening. And he will see in the 1st chapter when we go to that, in the beginning of 2nd. Arjuna is giving the logic that this war is useless because we are going to kill people. It's a hinsa. I would rather take sannyas. What a wonderful sannyas is good, no doubt. Sannyas means you're. So Bhagavan realized that he is confused now. So he didn't speak anything. Then Arjun realized at the beginning of the 2nd chapter that I'm not able to convince Krishna that whatever I'm saying, we can take sannyas and this is all hinsa. I think I'm wrong somewhere. And then he realizes, 7th shlok, this is a prarthana, which is, we saw in the 1st shlok, Ambatvam Anusandadhami. I am doing the inquiry within myself or within the guru or teaching. So this shlok. So you can repeat after me this shlok. This is a prarthana. You can memorize later, right? Some of you can unmute, some can keep mute also, but just can repeat after me. Karpanya dosho upahat svabhavah प्रच्छामि त्वां धर्मसम्मूढचेताः यत् श्रेयस्यात् निश्चितं ब्रूहि तन्मे शिष्यस्तेऽहं शाधिमां त्वां प्रपन्नम्. So what Arjuna is saying here, that my mind is overpowered by helplessness and my intellect is completely deluded regarding my duty, dharma. Dharma sammudachetah. I'm confused about dharma. I ask you decidedly tell me, like Nishchitam, Nishchitam means decidedly tell me which is the best path for me. I'm your disciple. See, now he surrendered. So far he was giving, we'll see in the 1st chapter, he is giving all the logic. Now he surrenders that, oh, I give up now. You tell me. Shishyasteham, I'm your disciple. And this is the condition of learning. Anytime, that's why when we go to college, school, we are called students. Student means Shishya. Sanskrit is beautiful language. Shishya means who's ready to take the shiksha. And from the same root, Sikh, our Sikh tradition has come. Because all those Sikh people were devotee of students of Guru Nanak Ji. That's why Sikh whole tradition. So we are, in that sense, we are all Sikh. There's no separate Sikh. Shishya means who can take the shiksha from Guru. So he says, Shishyasteham, Shadhimam, Prapannam means surrender. I surrender to you. That means if you want to learn something, that student is not humble, the academic teaching is fine. We are talking about adhyatmic teaching. If you don't have humility, you don't have that surrender, the teaching doesn't flow. So Arjuna said that I am karpanya dosho. I am overpowered helplessness. Karpanya means like miserliness or narrow thing. So my consciousness has become very narrow, and that's why I'm confused about my duty, dharma. So it is both dharma and adharma. So he's saying, just tell me, after this prarthana, then Bhagwan will realize that Arjuna is now ready to get the teaching. So, very nutshell, what is the teaching? We'll go over that later on. So the teaching is, again, this is random, right? So teaching is, one is in Bhagavad Gita, very popularly people say that there is no Gyan Yoga taught in Bhagavad Gita, I tell you. There is no Gyan. Bhagavan has never said Gyan Yoga, word is used. He's giving Gyan. We call it Gyan Yoga, but he's talking about Gyan. So there is a shlok, we'll go over that shlok. But the Gyan is that Atma. That is called Atma Gyan. Gyan is always Atma Gyan, which is knowledge. Knowledge is a loose translation, but Gyan is Atma Gyan. The whole purpose is that we are Atma, not this body. And we'll see in 2nd chapter when we go to it. The 2nd pillar of Bhagavad Gita is karma, action. And we saw that, like what you do, you're not doing for yourself. We are doing for the entire humanity. That's what Bhagavan telling Arjun, that Arjun, you are confused because you are taking yourself separate than these people. No, you're not separate. You are part of the whole creation cosmos. You're not fighting for yourself. There is no war in that, right? That is karma. So we'll 3rd chapter we'll just go into detail of karma. And the 3rd thing is bhakti. And then there is a 12th chapter will go there. There's a shlok where Bhagavan, look at that. He says, Sanyam Indriya Gramam Sarvatra Sambuddhaya Te Prapnuvanti Mameva Sarvabhuti Terata. The condition of my devotee is who's engaged in the welfare of all beings, Sarvabhuti Terata. Bhagavan, he is not saying ki Hindu or non-Hindu. He says Sarvabhut. It doesn't matter, right? You are always engaged in the welfare of all being. That Bhagavan said, Te prapnuvanti mame. That is my bhakt. That is whole chapter is, we call it bhakti yoga, but is a quality of bhakt. So that is bhakt. So, and then who can do that? Who has all senses in control, like even-minded. And that person. So that is, so there are three things. And I am lucky to have two at home. And I have the bhakti and gyan. So some of you know bhakti and is my daughter, gyan is my son. So I enjoy these shlok as if I am enjoying my kids, right? Company. So, okay, then are two guiding principles in Bhagavad Gita. And this is my whole understanding, but I think you can enjoy. But the shlok, of course, coming from one is Bhagavan is guiding principle in life. How do you live life? Some of you have written in comment that I want Bhagavad Gita can guide me in living this life better or more meaningful. Here is the answer. Arjuna had the same thing. Can you guide me? He says, Shishyaste yat shreyasya. Shreyas means which is good for everyone. Arjuna was a very good student. He said, not prayas means which I like. Shreyas means which is good for everyone. So Arjuna's question was, can you tell me what is Shreyas? I'm confused now. So Shreyas means good for all, not just for me. It's a greater good, we call it these days, right? Or global good. So one thing is guiding principle of one says acceptance. You endure, because there's a shlok, we'll go over that later on. Matra sparshastha kaunteya sitosh sukha agama paino nitya tanstitikshasu bharat. Means these sense objects, when they interact with the outside world, and here Bhagavad Gita is full of metaphors, full of metaphors. I've never seen any book, any teaching where so many metaphors. Bhagavan Krishna has given, this is a metaphor he's giving, like pleasure and pain. Dukh sukh are like heat, cold and heat. When you go out, heat and cold, same thing, pain, but heat and cold at the body level, pleasure and pain at the psyche level, mind level. And Bhagavan says both are subject to arrival and departure. They come and go. They are impermanent, Arjun. That is the teaching. Endure them. And that is called titiksha. So this word titiksha is a very powerful Sanskrit word. So Bhagavan, titiksha means acceptance. And more we have acceptance, more emotionally we are strong. We all know that, right? If I can endure more things, because things are not in my control, less disturbed I am, more joyful, more peaceful I can be. Endurance, titiksha. The second is expectation. Very famous slok, everybody knows, karmanyeva adhikaraste. Bhagavan saying, yes, you have choice over your action, not right. I mean, I change this word. That adhikar is not always right. There's a lot of translation, it says adhikar. No, it's not about adhikar. It is the choice given to you by your, whatever, by your birth or by your role in the society or family. Because it just keeps changing. Sometimes your father, sometimes you are a student, sometimes you are friend, sometimes you are colleague, sometimes you are employee, sometimes your boss. It's changing, but every time the choice, that role is your prescribed duty. So that is your kartavya, basically, in Sanskrit say. Bhagavan said, never, ma phaleshu, that is the key word, ma phaleshu kadachan. Fruits, you have no control over that, you have no right over it. You just don't like cling on to that. That is expectation from action, is phal. And Bhagavan said that's the problem. So ma phaleshu kadachan. Expectation should be as minimum as possible. That doesn't mean you move away from action. This is all second chapter, third chapter. Bhagavan never said. And the saransh of Bhagavad Gita is 12th shlok of 12th chapter. This is not only saransh of Bhagavad Gita, this is saransh of entire teaching. Any book you take, Socrates you take, you get to the same thing. You take any other philosopher, you get to the same. This shlok is sense of all the teachings. Shreyo hi jnanam abhyasat jnanat dhyanam vishishyate dhyanat karma phalatyaga tyaga shanti anantaram. This is a practical steps Bhagavan. This is spiritual sadhana given by Bhagavan Shri Krishna. This applies in every chapter. What? Abhyas, regular practice, Gyan, understanding of the teaching, then do Abhyas, then meditate, then imbibe that teaching. Let it assimilate. Dhyan ka, what when we do dhyan is not just these days what studios are there. They're fine. I mean, they're doing some resting, which is fine. For us, dhyan, for a Hindu, for a Adhyatmic person, dhyan is assimilated the teaching. The teaching becomes part of my character. That is dhyan. It's not just sitting, closing eyes. And then Bhagavan says, karma phalatyaga, ma phaleshu kadachan, he said. You have to renounce not the action, the attachment to the fruits of action. That is to be renounced. And that makes karma perfect. And we all want, right? Everybody in the office, you go, your action should be perfect. Everybody wants in life, my action. Action will be perfect when these steps are followed. And what is the climax of that? Shanti Anantaram. Uninterrupted and direct Shanti. You don't get it from outside. This is from within. And that is the shloka. So, Tyaga Shanti Anantaram. That is the essence of all the teaching. 12 shloka of 10 chapter. So this is what Bhagavad Gita essence. I think we are 9:45. We'll just go to few shloka of first chapter so that at least we can start first chapter. Next time when we'll meet, we'll do second chapter. So we'll just go to, I'll stop sharing here. And you can open your books if you have Bhagavad Gita. If not, please have next time. And we'll go to few shloka of first chapter so that at least we cover few parts of first chapter before we end today. Start. So the fundamental problem, that's the reason Bhagavad Gita is relevant even today, is the fundamental problem, human problem, is constantly changing mind. You won't believe, I have children classes, I ask them and they all agree. Yes, uncle. Even 7-year-old, 6-year-old say, yes, my mind is wandering. That's the biggest problem. And that problem lies from 8-year-old to 80-year-old. Doesn't matter if you're 90-year-old. The mind is and that's why the whole mental health in America and all over the world. That's a fundamental problem, is the mind is constantly changing, is wandering always. And why it is wandering? This is psychology. I mean, I read psychology a lot just because of Bhagavad Gita, and that's my interest also. So, movement of mind is what? Conflict in the mind. That is the movement. If I have no conflict, then I have no problem. And that's why we sometimes we see, if I am doing something which I love, gardening, for example, or maybe the job, right? Or playing some game which I like, golf. That time there's no conflict in my mind. I'm happy. I'm playing golf. I'm enjoying because there's no conflict. I love it. I'm taking care of my kids or brother, sister, sibling. There's no conflict. There is a story that young girl was doing Himalaya mountain. People are mountaineering and everybody is going up. And they say that when you go up, you drop the weight because you're going up, right? Uphill to the Himalaya mountain. And this girl had something on her back, like big kind of a bag. Somebody said, "Hey, little girl, why are you carrying this weight? Because everybody is leaving the weight. Just drop it and you can walk easily," because she was having trouble in walking. She said, don't you see that? This is not weight, this is my brother. This is not weight, this is my brother. So brother is not weight. If there is a stone piece, I'll say, oh, this is weight. So the thing which you love, you like, it is not this weightless. Same thing in mind. If the thoughts are clear and clean, there's no conflict. Thoughts will be there, but there's no conflict. The clarity, which we call it. So that is a problem, all of us. Arjun had the same problem. Now he's a conflict. Should I shoot arrow on Bhishma? He's my grandfather. Should I shoot arrow on Dronacharya? Oh, he taught me. He's guru. Or should I shoot on Kripacharya? He's a Brahmin. I should not kill Brahmin because I am Kshatriya. All this conflict. That's why he said, I want to run away. Bhagavan knew that. Oh, Bhagavan is a great psychologist. He said, oh, there is a problem here. Conflict. Because the mind, and that's what we all have. That's the reason Bhagavad Gita is relevant, because it addresses that problem. We'll see when we move forward. 6th chapter, by the time we reach 6th chapter. So, okay, so now let's go back to the first shloka of which we are going to read is Okay, so 28 shlok of first chapter. The first chapter is called Arjun Vishad Yoga, and I said in the chart, the whole Bhagavad Gita starts from Vishad. Vishad means depression, despondency, confusion, delusion. All the Vishad means depression also. In Ayurveda, it is called Vishad. In modern terms, it's called depression. So from Vishad, Arjun is in depression. To moksha, Bhagavan will take him to moksha means not the Shastra moksha. Moksha means liberation, freedom from that conflict. That's it. You're clear. And then Bhagavan says that now you go for a war. That we'll see when we reach 13th chapter. So 28 shlok of first chapter. I'll read the shlok. That's why selected shlok we have taken. And some of you who are not familiar with Sanskrit, Bhagavad Gita has one of the simplest Sanskrit among all the Shastra. It is just little bit reading it, just few practice. That's why I selected some shlok. If we can get that, we still enjoying that, right? So we'll, and Gita Press and other our books, they have done wonderful job in translating also, transliteration also. So those who cannot read Devanagari, they can read the transliteration part. It's Gita Press book, which Bhagavad Gita, which we supply. It is there, right? If you don't have, let me know, let Amitabh know, he can mail it to you. So Arjuna Uvacha, 28 shlok of first chapter. Dashtamev swajanam Krishna yuyutsum samupasthitam sidantimam gatrani mukham cha parishushati vepatuscha sharire me roma harshana jayate. So Arjuna is saying now. So what he told, can you put my chariot in the middle of two armies? Bhagwan put his chariot and he saw Bhishma, Dronachar, all relatives, Mama, Chacha. He said, what? I'm going to fight with these guys? Oh, that's not happening. So he said then, now he is saying, expressing what happening to him. So he says, hey Krishna, right? I see the people standing here willing to go for the fight or war, right? And these are Swajanam. The word Swajanam is my people. See, Arjuna has fought many wars. He had no issue in all these wars. He won many wars. But here the word has come Swajanam, my people. That's the problem. And that's the problem we all have, right? That is called Mamata and Ahanta. There are two powerful Sanskrit words. Mamata means mine, Ahanta means me. Me, mine, me, mine. Entire life we have me, mine. This is me, this is mine. This is me, my house, my family, my position, my property. And I want to keep it, Mamata. And Ahamta means my. So this is a basic human problem. Mamata means, we call it ego or attachment in English, but it is Ahamta. So the Swajanam means my people. Now the problem starts. Now he gets into depression. And he says, Gatrani Sidanti. Gatrani means senses. My senses are getting cold. That's a signs of nervousness, right? You know, when we go to India, most of travel, and I sit at the airport and I observe whenever I'm sitting, the old people, the grandparents who are visiting America or India, they've become so anxious. I know there is a reason, but oh, the flight is going, or flight is late. I mean, they become so anxious and so nervous. The reason is because I may miss my flight. That whenever it comes into anything, that brings the nervousness. I'm going to write an exam, I may fail. I become nervous. Somebody else also may fail, but I don't care about that. I am not worried about, I'm worried about my failure, right? Or my child, or my house. So that's, so he says, Swajanam. Swajanam was the problem. And he says, Sidantim is like becoming like cold. And he says, Mukham Parishus, my mouth is dried. And it happens to all of us. Whenever, see, look at these 5,000 years ago, these words are used, these words are used in medical science these days. Same thing when they treat mental health. Yeah, when you have dry mouth, take a glass of water, you're nervous. He says, Mukham Shushyati, my mouth is dried. Rom Harshan Jayate, my hairs are raising on their hands. We get this goosebumps. Here, he's saying, my hairs are raising on their hands, Krishna. And then he says, Gandiv Sanskrite, the Gandiv is slipping from my hand. Gandiv means his bow. slipping. The whole life Arjun played with that Gandhi. He did Shiv Puja, Durga Puja to have that Gandhi, and now the Gandhi was his main. He says, I'm not able to hold Gandhi. It happens to all of us, right? When we are nervous, we can't hold things. Or we hold something and stand up. It's like that. And he says, Brahmati viche my mana. My mind is whirling. Brahmati means whirling. Now, that's the sign of depression, nervousness. That's what Arjun has. And that's where Arjun said, now it is a problem here. And Krishna, Bhagavan is listening to him. And before that, he is saying, then after that, he'll say, oh, why, can we take sannyas? I should move out and all those things. So we'll just jump to the last shloka of first chapter. Last, like 47th shloka of first chapter, right? Where Sanjay summarizes the whole situation there. Sanjay uvacha eva mukta Arjuna sankhe rathopast upavishat visrajya sacharam chapam shoka samvignamanasah. So Arjun, now Sanjay is describing the entire first chapter, whatever is happening to Arjun. And he's saying in the battlefield, right? Sankhya is battlefield. Shok samvrig manasa, the mentally depressed Arjun. Shok means grief, despondency, many words are there, right? Or shoch, or suffering, all these are called shok. And he says, Eva Mukta. He says, Krishna, I cannot fight. And he's sitting in the lower part of the chariot. He left the Gandiv, and we see all that picture famous. Arjuna is sitting in the lower part of the chariot. And he said, I have given up. One of the best archer and warrior of his time. He was the best like that. And Duryodhana knew that. If Arjuna is not there, it's just piece of cake we do. Arjuna is the person who is standing in front of, in between the victory, and everybody knew that. And prepared, well prepared. He is nervous. And that is where Bhagavad Gita is relevant, because it is not happening to Arjun, it can happen to anyone. And so that situation, when it comes, who we should go to. And we saw the 7th shloka. After we'll start 2nd chapter next time. Arjun will go to 2nd shloka, Karpanya dosho. He's realized it. So this like that they say that if you want to get the solution, if you go to doctor, you have to be honest with doctor. If you go to doctor and you don't tell what the problem, you will never be treated. Doctor cannot write prescription unless you describe what the problem you have. You cannot go to a doctor and if you have a headache and say, oh, I have a stomach ache. They'll give some acidity medicine which is not going to treat your headache, right? So you have to honestly describe to doctor what is my problem. And that's what Arjun in the 7th shloka, which is the prarthana. We should, that's my everyday prarthana. I think I request everyone just memorize that. And when you close your eyes and do the prarthana, I do that and I feel that Bhagavan Krishna is standing in front of me and I'm saying Karpanya dosho pahat sabhava prachhamitvam dharma samudha cheta yat shreyasyat nishchitam bruhitan me shishrasteham shadimam tam prapanna. And he's saying, please guide me. I'm nervous. And then if you go to doctor or teacher, in that sense, we go to school. That's why I say, ask questions, be with teacher to learn, right? Or elder at home, wherever, right? So you have to surrender. Surrender is not giving up. Surrender is ready to receive the teaching. So that's when we next time meet, we'll start with 2nd chapter. So the 1st chapter ends. Arjuna is nervous. Bhagavan has surrendered to. He's going to surrender next when we meet next time. And now Bhagavan teaching will flow. So we'll stop here with a couple of little anecdote, 1 or 2. So the first problem what Gita is, as I said, addressing is conflict. Conflict happens when I feel inadequate. When I feel I am missing something, then the conflict will rise. If I am complete, I can do this thing, there's no conflict. So whenever I feel that I'm not, and that's what lack of confidence we call it, or identity crisis, all those words, buzzwords come. But the main thing is that, yes, I'm in our Shastri term, it is apurna. Purnatvam is my quality. That's why we say Brahma Vidya, you are complete. We are, when you drive on US highways, there's written that the hell is real. All those things are written, right? Our teaching, Vedantic teaching says you're complete, you're born complete. Only thing, because of your sanskar or vasanas, you forget that you're complete. All the teaching, our teaching, they want to just discover that, remove the cover of that ignorance, and you are complete. You don't have to go anywhere to be complete. You are complete. You need to realize it. That's why we use self-realization. Realizing the self, that I am that. Atmagyan, he says. So that's what. So, so this guy, we'll stop. There is a guy who had some psychiatric problem. And what the problem was that he thought that he is a worm, right? And the birds, they eat the worms. So he somehow got that in psyche mode that I'm a worm. So he went out and he saw the bird. He said, oh, bird was flying towards him by chance. He said, oh, she's going to eat me. He came inside. Now he developed that sick, whatever we call it, like psychiatric issue. Now he doesn't go outside. His parents say, go out. No, they'll eat me. So they say, okay, let's take him to a psychiatric. They took him to the psychiatric, and then psychiatric, whatever treatment he did. And finally, he got a mirror in front of him and he said, look in the mirror. What do you see? He said, I see this. Do you see your hand? Yes, I see my hand. Do you see your head? You see your shirt? All. Who is this? Oh, this is me. So you are a human being. He said, yeah, you're right. I'm not a worm. I'm a human being. You're good? Now parents are happy. They said, he's fine. The treatment is done. Then he went out. And then one bird came and he came running inside. Doctor asked, what happened? You're a human being. Why are you? No. I know I'm a human being, but nobody has told the bird that I am a human being. She still thinks I'm a worm, right? That's our problem. Inadequate self. I'm depending on someone else to tell me I'm Purna by default. And that is the teaching. So when we meet next time, Bhagavan is going to take Arjuna to Atmagyan. That will be so we'll stop here 1 minute. Kabir Das ji has a doha. Kabir Das ji is one of my favorite, another guru who's the same as Bhagavan Krishna. His doha says in Hindi, but I'll translate in English in 1 minute. Maya means delusion, the confusion, the conflict is Maya. It's called Maya. Maya is a very good term in Sanskrit. It is a conflict, many things, but it is a conflict, delusion, everything is Maya. So Maya ऐसी डाकनी काट कलेजा खाए वैद्य बिचारा क्या करे कब तक दवा लगाए. So that Kabir Das is saying the Maya, the confusion, delusion is like a demon, is like a witch, काट कलेजा खाए, which eats your heart or mind, takes out all your knowledge. The Maya, when you are under the influence of Maya, you forget yourself. That's what Kabir Das is saying. Ved vichara kya kare? Means doctor, what doctor can do? You still, so it is like you constantly during COVID time, constantly breaking all the rules and go to doctor, I have COVID. You will have COVID, you are not following the rules. Doctor cannot do anything. So unless we get over this Maya, this ignorance, nothing, no Shastra, no Bhagavad Gita, no Ramayana, no Veda, nothing can do. I should be ready to get over this Maya. So with that, we'll stop here. We'll do just Purnamada Purnamidam. Next Monday, we'll meet again at 9, and then we'll continue the and your question, you can email me, chat, put in chat or message, right? Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamadachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Boli Krishna Kanaya Lal Ki Jai. I'll stay for 5 minutes if anybody has any questions.